Hi and welcome everyone to our 96th episode of The Little Inside. Boggles my mind, but I'm still Tobi, apparently. So this week I've decided to talk a little bit about how to deal with toxic people. So let's get started right after the intro. So recently I found quite a lot of articles and videos and posts and blogs, etc. about how to deal with toxic people. And so I decided to make this little video to clear up a few of the common misunderstandings that I encounter again and again concerning this kind of topic. When we're looking all around us and we're seeing a world that is full of toxic people, and this is a very, very easy kind of perception that we might develop. We might feel very much surrounded by toxic people. We might feel that we are in a relationship with a toxic person, or that family members are very toxic. So very common advice that is given is to kind of very clearly show that here are my borders. I need you to respect them. I need you to respect my privacy, and I need to stand up for ourselves or move away, go somewhere else, etc. I'm going to take a little bit of a different approach to this topic. How do we come to the conclusion that there are other people around ourselves that are toxic? Like, it almost sometimes feels like I'm the only one that's not toxic in here, and poor me, I'm surrounded by all these bad toxic people, and what am I supposed to do? I'm trapped. You know, it's almost like in these zombie movies when the hero is trapped in this tiny little room and all these zombies around the hero are banging at the door trying to eat that hero, you know, and of course the hero is the only good person and all these bad zombies are all surrounding our hero trying to eat his brains and his heart. And, you know, sometimes we might feel very much like that at times when we feel like that we are spending time with a toxic person. So I always recommend to turn the light around and in that very moment actually look at our own state of mind. That state of mind that perceives other people as toxic, because there's a huge opportunity here. Of course, you know, there are some people, and I'm not negating that, there are some people in our life that we should not spend time with. We should be very, very selective when it comes to the people that we're spending time with, definitely. If you want to, for example, if you want to develop skills in your meditation practice, it's very wise to spend time with people who are skilled at meditation practice. If you want to be a good golfer, then it makes sense to spend time with those who are good at golf. I absolutely agree with that one. If you want to be more happy, sure, then make sure that you're not spending time with people who are constantly complaining, constantly unhappy, etc. This is the basic stuff. We all know that already. As I said before, there are hundreds of articles and movies on that topic. How to deal with toxic people, right? Like seeking your distance, etc. This is all good advice. But very often that one aspect that I'm talking about in this video is left out of the picture. And this is our own perception of the reality that we are shaping and that we are creating in that moment in our own mind. How we perceive other people as toxic. Look, a simple example that I can give you. If I take off my glasses, right now you guys are just a blur. The camera is just a blur. So I'm taking off my glasses. Now if I would take the wrong kind of perception on board and I would believe in it, then I would say, well, I'm surrounded by a very blurry world. In fact, it's not the world around me that is blurry. It's not the camera in front of me that is very blurry. It's just that I'm not wearing glasses. Now, let's say if my glasses are yellow and I'm putting them on, then I will see everything with this yellow, yellowish tint to it. And then I think, okay, why is the world so yellow all of a sudden? Wrong again. It's not the world around me that is yellow. What would be more accurate to say is The world appears yellow to me. But we all wear the glasses of our own perception. And very often we do not see the glasses. How many times, actually I had this quite a few times in my life that I was walking around and I was looking for my glasses while wearing them. Didn't find them, of course. I didn't find them anywhere. And I would go to my wife and I say, have you seen my glasses? And she would just laugh at me. Then I already know, there you go. They're already on my nose. So probably some of you who are also wearing glasses know that very well. And this is the same thing with our perceptions. Perceptions are very much like glasses that we're wearing. And so you might wear angry glasses, you might wear kind glasses, and in dependence on the glasses that you're wearing, the world around you will appear a certain way. For example, with yellow glasses, the world appears yellow. With happy glasses, the world appears nice. With angry glasses, the world appears annoying, right? And so our perception plays a major role in the way we see other people. And so we often forget that when we judge other people as being toxic. We wouldn't accept that about ourselves, right? If anyone came to you and told you, you are a toxic person, would you agree with that person? Would you say, yes, absolutely, I'm totally toxic? I don't feel like a toxic person. I feel like many people around me, they would never consider themselves to be a toxic person. I think I can walk around everywhere in Phuket and ask anybody, really, are you a toxic person? And they would all say, what kind of question is that, right? I'm not a toxic person. Why would I be? Maybe some people, they would agree that, yes, there might be some who consider me a toxic person. I've heard that sometimes. Tobi is a toxic person. I've heard that sometimes, like, okay, yeah, maybe there are some people that think that I'm a toxic person, but me, looking at myself as a toxic person, no, I'm not a toxic person. I'm Tobi. I have my flaws, I have my mistakes, but I'm not a toxic person. It's probably their fault when they see me as a toxic person, right? It's always when other people see us as toxic, then we would say, well, they need to adjust their perception. But when we ourselves see other people as toxic, then of course our perception is absolutely flawless and excellent, and we're totally right. There are toxic people everywhere. I'm encouraging you to actually question your perceptions of other people. Is the way you see other people the way other people actually are? Or is it the way you see other people? So when you're judging another person, does that say something about the other person? Or does that say more about yourself, really? Right? If I'm judging you guys, if I say, you are the best people in the world watching my videos, thank you so much, and all that kind of stuff. If I think, like, is that true? Or is it just the way I think about you? Are you really the best people in the world? Are others really toxic? Are they truly inherently toxic? Are they born and the doctor pulls out the baby of the mom and says, oh, what have we here? A toxic person. Or is that something that is an interplay? How do toxic people actually arise? Is it an interplay? It's not just the glasses, right? You need to have a person that you see. You need to have the glasses. You also need to have the eyes behind your glasses. You need to have the mind behind the eyes, behind the glasses. The perception that arises. There's so many things coming together to form the perception of a toxic person. And every time I see other people as toxic, actually, every time I'm feeling annoyed by what other people do, uncomfortable, triggered, then I'm asking myself, what's that pain in here? I don't care so much about what people do or say. I don't get much lost in that. It's their business, right? I let them live. I let them do whatever they want to do. But what I find particularly interesting is how I react to their actions, how I react to their statements, how I react to their presence in my life. What does that do to me? As somebody that's on a spiritual path, as somebody that meditates, as somebody that has some interest in the goings-on in your own mind, right? That should be the first reaction. Why do toxic people appear to my mind? Can I change that in some way? Can I make that a more skillful perception maybe? So whether a person is actually toxic or not depends on their mind and our mind. It's not just a toxic person out there. The toxic person forms in your own mind in dependency upon the other person's actions and the way you receive them and perceive them, in dependency upon your senses and the current environment and your mood, the way you slept last night, etc., etc. Many stuff coming together. Think about it. It's never just that one toxic person which has always been toxic and will always be toxic. We're highly dynamic beings. That gives us a chance, an opportunity to approach the whole situation differently. You could see the other person not as a toxic person, but you could see them as my teacher. Somebody that comes into your life to point to your shadow, to point to the things that you do not want to experience within yourself. That's the way I tend to see it very often. When my teacher posts on Facebook, for example, I tend to take these posts personal. And very often that immediately leads to a hurtful reaction. It makes me feel exposed, vulnerable, etc. And these are some of the greatest teachings because they show me very clearly, they give me instant feedback on whether I'm actually beyond suffering or whether I just think I'm beyond suffering. So they give me very real feedback. What is it that vibrates inside of me when that person does these things? When that person posts that? When I do not get an answer directly when I just send a text message to someone? Once that vibrates in there, the fear of abandonment, the anger that comes up, that's the field of practice. And everybody who kind of triggers that inside of us or every situation can be considered a real spiritual teacher. And these people show us where we hurt. These situations show us where we hurt, thereby giving us the opportunity to heal old wounds. And how do we heal them? Well, we use awareness, we use kindness, and we allow ourselves and the world to be the way it is. So every situation leads to an incredible, empowering learning experience. It is not only that the learning experience arises for ourselves, but once you actually take responsibility for your own perceptions and your own mental states, and you learn to let go and relax inside of yourself, you'd be surprised what kind of impact that has on your toxic teacher out there. So this is all that comes to mind for this week. I hope that it was meaningful in some way and challenging and gave you some new perspectives, some new insights that are relevant for your own practice right now. And I hope that you can become a wonderful student. There's so many toxic teachers out there, so many nice kind of circumstances in our environment that give us accurate feedback, showing us how our mental state is in reality, and helps us to accept, to be kind, to heal, to forgive, and to grow as a being, to grow into awareness. So if you do have any questions or inputs or maybe stories to share, feel free to write them down into the comment section below. I'm always happy to read your comments. And I hope that all of you have a wonderful week. And maybe you have a few toxic people in your life, and maybe that video has helped you to kind of shift your perspective a little bit and allows for some inner growth through difficult situations. So that's it for me right now, and yes, have a wonderful next week. Bye-bye.